The year was 2001. In London, an ordinary computer enthusiast was sitting in his room trying to access places most people could never imagine reaching. The computer networks of the US military, the Pentagon, and NASA. His name was Gary McKinnon. Gary wasn't a cybercriminal trying to steal millions of dollars. He had a different question on his mind. Was the US government hiding information about UFOs and extraterrestrial life from the public? Gary had been fascinated by computers since childhood. As the internet grew, he began to realize that computers weren't just machines for games and storing files. They were gateways to an entire world of information, and Gary wanted to explore the limits of that world, but eventually his curiosity crossed the line between exploration and unauthorized access. According to US prosecutors, between 2001 and 2002, Gary gained unauthorized access to numerous computers connected to the US military and government. The alleged targets included systems belonging to the Army, Navy, Air Force, Department of Defense, and NASA. Gary claimed that he wasn't trying to make money or steal military secrets. He was searching for evidence related to UFOs, but for the authorities, his intentions weren't the main issue. The bigger problem was that someone had accessed sensitive government networks without permission. Then came September 11th, 2001. After the terrorist attacks in the United States, national security became more sensitive than ever. Around this time, Gary was accused of gaining unauthorized access to US military systems. Prosecutors claimed that some of the intrusions caused damage and disrupted services. Now, this wasn't just the story of a curious hacker. The US authorities were coming after him. In 2002, Gary faced federal charges in the United States. The allegations were serious, and if he were brought to America, he could face trial and a lengthy prison sentence. But Gary was in Britain, and that created one huge question. Would Britain extradite him to the United States? From that point on, the hacking case became an international legal battle. The United States wanted Gary brought to America to stand trial, but Gary and his family fought against the extradition. They argued that he could face an extremely harsh sentence in the United States. During this period, Gary was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. His medical condition later became an important part of the extradition case. Years passed, arguments continued through the British courts. On one side were the US authorities, who argued that unauthorized access to military and government systems was a serious offense. On the other side were Gary's supporters, who viewed him as a computer enthusiast whose curiosity had simply gone too far. But there was still another mysterious part of Gary's story. Gary claimed that while accessing a NASA computer system, he discovered information that pointed to a secret space program. He also claimed to have seen an image containing unusual objects that he believed could be connected to extraterrestrial technology. But no publicly verified evidence proving those claims ever emerged. So it's important to separate the facts from the claims. The unauthorized access to government and military computer systems was part of the legal case. The claims about UFOs and extraterrestrial technology came from Gary himself, and that's what makes this story so fascinating. On one side were some of the world's most powerful military institutions. On the other side was one man sitting in London convinced that the biggest secret in the world might be hidden inside a computer. For Gary, hacking was a form of technological exploration. He wanted to know what was hidden behind powerful systems, and perhaps more than anything, he wanted to find out whether his UFO theories were actually true. But for the authorities, accessing a computer system without permission was a serious security breach, and when those systems belonged to the military, the risks were even greater. US prosecutors claimed that Gary's actions caused roughly $900,000 in damages. Gary rejected the portrayal of himself as some kind of electronic terrorist. He said he was simply searching for information, but the legal battle continued. If Gary were extradited to America, he would have to face trial there. If the extradition was blocked, the case could become a major legal and political issue between Britain and the United States. The case continued for nearly a decade. Then in 2012, a major decision was made. British Home Secretary Theresa May decided that Gary McKinnon would not be extradited to the United States. His extradition was blocked because of medical and human rights concerns. That meant Gary would not be sent to America to face trial. After nearly a decade of legal battles, the case was finally over.